Movies teach us that ninjas are silent assassins, but real ninjas were listeners. Sound was their weapon. Once you understand that, every movie ninja myth will sound wrong. Shogun, because of its world-building, historical tone and incredible sound design, was a breakout series, and as new seasons are in development, I wanted to take a closer look at the depiction of ninjas on our screen.
Ninja? You're a ninja? Get out of here! You're a ninja!
Yes, I am a ninja.
For anyone watching movies or playing video games, being a ninja means stealth, skill, and deadly work. The myth of ninjas is mostly just that, a romanticized and now also commercialized myth. Not all, though.
American! What do you want?
Ninjas worked as mercenaries and spies for daimyos, Japanese warlords, in what today we would describe as intelligence services, using stealth and disguises to gather data, essentially audio surveillance. Apparently active from the 14th century, but because of their secretive work, there is little actual written info on them. They didn't have to adhere to the code of honor, operating in the shadows, but mostly to gather intelligence rather than assassinate their targets, listening to surroundings rather than jumping through windows from exploding buildings, valuing sound more than weapons. In articles based on books like Ninja 1000 Years of the Shadow Warrior and Ninja Unmasking the Myth, we can read that although they were used as part of guerrilla war, raiders, arsonists and terrorists, they used weapons such as small daggers to throw and distract rather than kill. And unfortunately, there is a little evidence that shuriken throws were used as much as movies made us believe. Also, shuriken aren't spinning saw blades, they wouldn't make the metallic whoosh sound. On our screens, ninjas wear, for the most part, all black bodysuits with masks covering their faces. The goal is to be silent and invisible at night. But as Tokyo Creative points out, that's not really accurate. If the goal of an intelligence agent is to gather information, the best way to avoid detection is to blend in. Therefore, some scholars believe that ninjas posed as merchants, farmers and priests or monks. With more common disguises, they could travel the land and enter various sites undetected. I mean, it makes sense, because who stands out more? Just a regular guy or someone dressed in a black suit, especially during the day? Also, the tight leather costumes would be squeaky and loud, and I think they'd prefer rustle and noise-free soft fabrics. Japan was quiet back then. No cars, no phones, so even small noise carried away. The iconic costume we see in movies is actually a legacy of kabuki theater conventions where stage helpers were dressed in black to be sort of invisible to the audience. It then developed to describing silent night assassins in theater plays, creating the trope. And since we're on the topic, let's talk about another trope. So when someone says ninja, I immediately think silent assassin that mastered the skill of death. But again, Looking at various sources, like the ancient shadow warriors of Japan, the facts are a little bit more blurred. We know they were intelligence spies, but did they also kill? Well, some say that at the castle of Kasaki, a ninja from Iga helped to bring down the defender, Kizawa Nagamasa, by wreaking havoc, setting fires and wounding Nagamasa. During another attack on Kaminojo Castle, a ninja from Koga also attacked, killing the commander Nagamochi and Fuya in the process, and started fires that killed up to 200 people. Real assassinations require quiet blades like tonto or things like poison, not loud fire raids.
Because the Aikuchi Tanto doesn't have bumps, you can easily hide it inside your kimono as a secret weapon. So not only men, but also women would often carry it inside their kimono to protect themselves in emergency situations.
So maybe they weren't as silent as we think, but at least some of the ninjas took part in more violent operations. Kunoichi, the Japanese word for female, also existed in the ninja world. So the actual term popularizing female ninjas originated in the Yamada novels. And even though some historians say there is no evidence of female ninjas,
Female ninja have their own very special techniques.
in the 17th century manual Basen Shukai, there is a technique they called Kunoichi no Jutsu, translating to the ninjutsu of a female, giving some credence that women also took part in the ninja spying work. Possibly using social infiltration rather than martial arts, gymnastics. And the reason that there isn't too much info out there just speaks to how good they were at the job, in my view. So let's say you want one of these ninja jobs. Where do you apply? According to the research, by the 14th century, there were around 2,000 ninja schools in Japan. Not all are historically verified.
We were wrong.
Not everyone could become one. Adaptability, endurance, and discipline were the qualities of the students, and harsh natural conditions, especially in Iga and Koga, helped to develop survival and observational skills.
Ninja were mainly hired from Iga. The Iga people were known as the best ninja. They would go across all of Japan and they would present themselves to their lords and say, "I'm a ninja, I am from Iga, I'm trained in the arts of ninjutsu." Then the lord would hire them.
You had to hide emotions, endure shame, and face any adversity as cool as possible. So I guess Eastern Europeans like me would fit just fine.
The sense you rely on the most.
Now, this was the art of ninjutsu, the skills and techniques of infiltration and survival, with some of which were recorded on the ancient scrolls. Controlling the noise too, walking on wooden creaky floors, not stepping on loud twigs, and breathing calmly. That was crucial, as some castles had so-called nightingale floors, known as anti-ninja alarms, squeaky wood that revealed the intruders. So it was a collection of life skills too, showing that adaptation was at the top of ninja life, using the sounds of rain and markets to hide their true goal, imitating animals to distract the enemy, and then inspiring our modern depictions.
Ninjutsu employs explosive powders.
As weapons?
Or distractions. Theatricality and deception are powerful agents. You must become more than just a man in the mind of your opponent.
But what about the actual fighting? The silent assassinations we know our ninjas for? Well, according to Tokyo Creative and Bushu, in the main ninja text, Bansen Shukai, Ninpiden and Shoninki, there is no writing on hand-to-hand combat. It mentions that one should study the sword in a case of emergency exit, but other than that, there are no mentions of specific combat techniques. Definitely none of the loud punches we hear in the movies, as these would alert the guards. Also, ninjas weren't bound by a code of honor or rules like in some movies.
Betrayal begets blood.
Which also makes sense, because working as a spy in the shadows, you need to break rules and not worry about dishonor like the samurai did. Plus, you know, the samurai armor would be quite loud in the field. You had to get the job done quietly and efficiently. As always, history wins in the battle for the truth. Now, when doing this video, I learned that most of my preconceptions of the ninja were false, confirming the view that maybe movies and TV are not the best way of learning facts. Whispers, footsteps, delicate conversations. The true weapon of ninjas was sound. Movies made them loud and thrilling because silence doesn't sell action. Real ninjas lived in a world where sound could get you killed. Thanks for watching.